First, I would like to thank two people. Shout out to Robin, the Girl Wonder, for telling me about a video that one of my subscribers, who I'm also subscribed to, BO9263, that I got a shout out in a particular video that he uploaded today. And shout out to him for actually covering the topic that I'm about to cover right now. And before I even get started with this, to the trolls that might enter the sanctum of my channel like they have been for the last I don't know how many couple of weeks, because they feel that I'm not talking enough about, other things. Well, here's a topic directed towards you. And see, I can only formulate my opinion about this, but the facts have been put out there most likely by a white publication. And this one is coming from NPR. I'm almost certain that this is a white-owned publication, and I'm almost certain that this author by the name of Bill Chappell is a white guy himself. So you can't say that it was an anti-white this and that. This is something that is based and steeped in reality. Something that many of you do not dwell in. But without further ado, let me get started. U.S. population is becoming older and less white than ever before. To be honest, we didn't even need something like this to tell us that this was happening, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Let's get started. The U.S. population is getting older and more racially diverse, according to new estimates from the Census Bureau. The findings come out as a separate analysis finds that for the first time, white deaths exceeded births in a majority of states. White people remain the majority in the U.S., but in new data from the Census Bureau, non-Hispanic whites were the only group that didn't grow from 2016 to 2017. Whites declined by 0.2% to a total of around 198 million people. And that's just at 0.2%. Imagine if it was a whole 1%. How many that would be? Among other racial groups, Asians were found to be growing at the fastest pace of 3.1% and number 22.2 million in 2017. The second fastest growing group, people who identify as two or more races. That group rose by 2.9% in 2017. The U.S. population is also getting older. The Census Bureau's new estimates also show that since 2010, the median age in the U.S. jumped from just over 37 years to 38. NPR's Hansi Lo Wang reports for our newscast unit. That's because baby boomers and millennials are aging as the country's birth rate keeps declining. Now, it's interesting that they said something about millennials, considering I am a millennial. But I think what they're saying is that the baby boomers are probably the oldest living group out of anybody, because I think the baby boomers range from 1945 to 1957 or something like that. I think that's what the range. And ironically, I was actually having a discussion about this, the errors of how they classify the people born with my parents yesterday, and now I'm doing a topic or discussing something where this is a discussion today. That's because baby boomers, okay, I read that already, but I said it's interesting because, like I said, with the baby boomers, the title alone speaks for itself. They had the most children, but they're finding that a lot of millennials, people around my age or my age range, are not having many children. In 2017, Florida had the highest percentage of seniors aged 65 and older with 20.1%, the Census Bureau says. Maine and West Virginia follow, each with more than 19% seniors. The smallest number of seniors were in Utah at 10.8%, which also had the lowest median age of 30.9 years. The next smallest percentages of seniors were in Alaska at 11.2% and the District of Columbia 12.1%. The census data came out the same week as a study by the Applied Population Lab, which found that deaths among white people exceeded white births in the nation as a whole for the first time in U.S. history in 2016. That study cites data from the National Center for Health Statistics, the Applied Population Lab, part of the University of Wisconsin, and often works with the Census Bureau through the State Data Center program. The white natural loss of 39,000 in 2016 compares to a natural gain of 393,000 in 1999. As for what's behind the drop in the white population size, the APA identified two trends that says it is accelerating the incidence of white natural decrease. The first is a big drop in U.S. fertility that hit the country as it went through the Great Recession. Some 500,000 fewer babies are now being born annually than would have been expected, and almost 2.1 million women of childbearing age have remained childless. The second trend is an increasing mortality rate among whites from 30 to 59 years old, and what are often deemed deaths of despair, and that's something that Lisa talks about quite often on her channel. Deaths that are found to be from causes of suicide, accidental drug overdose, and alcohol. Ironically, they lead in that if you look at the FBI crime stats or, that list, they lead in all three categories. In fact, such deaths of despair were the difference between natural increase and natural decrease in 8 of the 26 states, with white natural decrease in 2016. As for where those changes are happening, the group says state-level white natural decrease is occurring in populous states with diverse economies in numerous metropolitan areas such as California, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Arizona, Massachusetts, and most recently in Ohio and Michigan. It adds that the white decrease has been an ongoing process for at least the past decade in some states, citing Rhode Island, West Virginia, and New Mexico, and Connecticut. Basically, all in all, I can sum this article up in just a few words. Dear white people, you are on borrowed time. And this is exactly why many of them act the way that they do when it comes to non-white groups of people. And when this really gets out to the masses, because I don't think it's as widespread as it could be, they are really going to ramp it up. And they are going to be coming for everybody possible. Of course, they're going to keep their target on us because we've always been public enemy number one. But now they're going to really come at everybody. Did you see what they said about the Asian community? They said they rose exponentially. Like they were the second highest, they were the fastest growing group of people in 2017. And it said people who classified as 2 or more races, also known as mixed ethnicity. And it doesn't mean black and white. That could be white and Asian, or Asian and black, or anything that's not of a pure one race, was the second highest rising group of people in the same year. It makes me wonder, where did white people fall in that list? Because from the sound of it, in this decline that they're going through, it almost sounds like they were damn near at the bottom. I wonder where black people fell out on that list, because they only named 2. They just named the 2 highest. We don't know what number 3, 4, 5, or however long the list was, how much further down the list went. But I'm willing to bet that black people couldn't have been that close, or maybe they were close to white people, but not that close. The way that they're making it sound. They are going to lose their shit when this really gets out. Of course, they're going to be in denial. They're in denial about a lot of things. But this article actually hit on things that many black people have been talking about for quite some time. That they have low birth rates, their drug abuse and their alcoholism and their suicide rates. That's how you go through a genocide, colonizer. That's how you do it. Some of it is self-inflicted, and some of it is just nature taking its course, in which you definitely cannot stop nature, which would probably explain why many of you are trying to alter it to your liking. But it is what it is. And I'm going to end this video the same way as I would end it if I was talking about them opioids. I feel absolutely nothing. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next one.